We are in the mid times between Christmas and New Year's. And to me, that's always kind of like a period. It was cool when I was in school and we had off, but it's kind of like weird because now, I have to go to work for like 2.5 days, and then I have a bunch of days off. I don't know. But let's say hello to everybody who's here. We got a bunch of people here so far. We got Marco, Gary Graham, Angelo, channel member, Ground Fog, Mick Ranger, Robin Dowham, channel member. Let's see, who else? Boominati, channel member. How you doing, buddy? We've got James McCann, channel member. Let's see. Did I miss somebody? We got Kathleen Smith in the house. Hello, Kathleen. Rachel Jordan, hello there. Let's see who else we got. Gnarly Charlie, hey, how have you been? Glad to see you here. Matt Conklin, how are you? Let's see. Roger Baker, channel member, hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's see. Brand new American, welcome in, my friend. How are you? Glad to see you here. Paul Mills, channel member. What's up, bud? We've got Thomas EDC Gates, channel member. Geek Machinist, how are you, Elijah? Channel member. Glad to see you here. All right. Cicero, channel member. Hello there, buddy. Glad you made it. Glad you made it. I think I got everybody. Brown Sugar, channel member. Hello there. Now I think I have everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Glad you're all here. Projectiles are Sharp, channel member. Welcome in, buddy. All right. Dilemma Man Trauma, channel member. Welcome in. That's a tough one, man. Stephen Parks, how are you, buddy? Todd Carr, welcome in, my friend. Cliff Brott, hello. We got more people funneling in. That's awesome. Appreciate everybody being here. So we did the live show on Christmas Eve with Jen and myself. That went really well. And we're going to probably do one on New Year's Eve. So hopefully everybody's around. If you don't have plans, you're not going out and just hanging out at home. We're probably going to go on. We'll probably go on New Year's Eve too. So because that went well, pretty well, and everybody seemed to like it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So, but I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody got the knives they wanted, or whatever they wanted. Mine was an interesting one because there's some stuff that was supposed to come for Christmas, didn't show up in time. Who knows? It'll be here next week at some point. I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. Overall can't complain. I always say life could be a lot worse. But let's see, I got a little button here that shows me something. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, what's this? Oh, let me do this. I want to turn on all messages. Bear with me, kids. I want to make sure all messages are turned on so I don't miss any. Well, I guess that's what it's going to be because I can't figure it out. I'll do it on here on my secondary screen. All messages. There we go. Waiting on the Hell Dorado. Let's see, did I miss anybody else coming in? Real quickly, just circle back. All right, I don't think I missed anybody. So, but we have 30 people here. I'm pretty sure maybe I did miss somebody. Matt Maurer, hello there, my friend. Lakeside 8, hello, welcome in, welcome in. All right. I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you hello now, we'll get you as we go around, as we make more comments and stuff. But so, like I said, Christmas was okay. It was not bad. Can't complain. I made a really awesome roast beef. We bought a Dutch oven, and I've never cooked in a Dutch oven before. It's one of the rare ways I haven't cooked. So what I did was I seared that thing on all sides. Put a little bit of beef broth. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. I put a little bit of rosé wine in the bottom of the Dutch oven to deglaze it, and then put it in the oven. Slow cook that at 200 degrees for 5 hours. It was the most tender roast beef I've ever made. It was so good. It was so juicy. It was like really fantastic. I just wish I had bought a bigger roast beef. I bought one. It was just, I mean, it was the right size for 2 people, but it didn't leave a lot of leftovers. So, oh, that stinks, Neil. Neil, I don't think I said hello. Hello, Neil. So, but yeah, it came out right. MadYocco, hello there, my friend. How are you, buddy? Robert Willoughby, welcome in, welcome in. All right. EDCKO10 channel member, hello there. Welcome in. Check out MadYocco's website. You can get some great hanks there. You can get some really good leather goods there, and he's got his knife package, surprise package you could order there. I forget what you call it exactly, Yocco, but it looks good. All right. So hopefully everybody got what they want. I know a lot of you guys were here on Wednesday, but I'm going to go over some things that came in that you might have already seen for the people who weren't here Wednesday. And we did get a bunch of knives in. We'll go over a couple. From Whatnot, I wound up getting a couple of these in Whatnot auctions. And these are these Pakistani Damascus fixed blades. I'm fascinated with them because I love the handles. They are not true Damascus, no matter how many times they tell you they are. You could tell because if you look at the spine, you see the Damascus print there. All of a sudden, it mysteriously stops on the spine. It is a full tang knife. Don't know what that steel is. It's got some cool alternating jimping on top. I don't know if you can see that. And it's a full, full 4-finger, if not more, because you got that choil there. And these just look really cool. I mean, fit and finish is fantastic. You can't feel where the one wood starts and or I should say the one starts and ends. There's no, you can't feel it. The pins are set in perfect. The scales with the tang, you really can't feel it. So it's done really well. And this one has a decent sheath on it. And generally you can get these, honestly, for about $10, not including shipping, Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't mind, like these, I kind of get more for the look. I know they're not, world-class knives, but I kind of like the handles. So I also got this one. Kind of a Nessmuck blade. You've got that purple with the cream color. And again, it's that fake, they swear it's real, but it's not. It's an etched Damascus. And again, you can tell because the Damascus doesn't come through on the tang. It's a full tang. So, what is that? Cliff, what did I miss? Yeah, definitely Pakmascus, James McCann, 100%. So, but cool stuff, For what, again, you get these for like $10 most of the time. And they're kind of cool looking, Then as a giveaway knife, I got this. I won this in a Whatnot giveaway. And this is a Master USA total gas station knife. You've got this, whatever you want to call this here, total plastic handle, but it was free. Not going to complain. You know, it was a giveaway. I've actually been pretty lucky with the giveaways on Whatnot. From the Invicta store, I won an Invicta watch, an Invicta dive watch that's supposed to be coming this week. Oh, that's jimping all right. It's kind of reminiscent to me of like the old Rambo knives, the old Rambo survival knives that they used to sell back in the 80s and early 90s, you know, that had the hollow handle with the, you know, with the survival kit. That's the first time you hit it would break because the tang only went about that far into the knife. Anybody remember those? You know? Robert Jones, hello there, welcome in, channel member. Glad you're here. You know, so those are the ones I was showing the other day. Let's see. I also showed, I have a new SE Azula. I went with this one in the zombie green, and then I added the black G10 handles to it. These are just such great little, really, I'm using this one as the pocket dropper. And it's a nylon sheath. It's not a Kydex, but man, it works really well. I was gonna have a Kydex sheath made. Actually, there's a guy on Etsy who's doing the Kydex sheath. Salvo Zen, welcome in. How are you, buddy? Salvo Zen is a channel member. So, but with the clip they give it, it's a wide clip, but it holds really well. And there's no movement on the blade whatsoever once you get it in the sheath. If I can get it in the sheath. What am I doing? Oh, I'm putting it upside down. Duh. It locks in there and there's no movement whatsoever. You know, kind of cool. Now, if you guys remember, last Sunday I was telling you I had won a knife from Etsy that was supposed to be a FTO, which backwards we all know is OTF and out the front. And they had sent me a switchblade instead. So this week they sent me the right one. So this out the front knife came. This is a Armored Force Tactical USA, which I guarantee you is not made in the USA. The handle, plastic, but does have a nice blade on it. Does not specify a steel, but the action on it is really good. So this is not, you know, the lockup, not great. You could kind of, let's see if you can hear it. It's got a little bit of wiggle in there, as opposed to one from Tac Force, which has no movement whatsoever. But look at that. One is they're both direct copies, you know, but the Tac Force is mighty in the hand. Where this one, not so much. But I paid $12.50 for it. It was the mystery FTO, you know. So can't complain about that. Now moving into some nicer stuff that came in. Well, let's talk about actually first another one that came in. Got this little guy that came in. This is a Elk Ridge little peanut. Actually, it's not a peanut, but it's a little 3-bladed model. Kind of looks cool. Well, you're right. It is $12 we'll never see again. But this is, you know, just for the fidget factor alone, it's worth it. You know? You bought a mossy oak booyah. Nice. Now, depending on where you're getting the mossy oak from, some of the mossy oak stuff is being made by Flissa. I know that because when they sent me the knife to review, it was actually Flissa that contacted me about doing a review on that flipper, I'm sorry, that Mossy Oak machete, and it was Flissa that contacted me and said they were sister companies. So, but this little guy is kind of cool. I have a thing for these tiny little slip joints. You know, this is the kind of stuff I had when I was a kid. So it kind of brings me back. You know, like I had shown you this one a few weeks ago, which is really kind of cool. So I've got a thing for these tiny little slip joints. You know, this was the Piney Creek by RoseCraft. This is one of the ones they had sent me to review, and I love this knife. You know, but 42 people in the house. If I missed anybody, Ron Crow, welcome in. Glad you're here, channel member. Let's see who else is here. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Dan Stan EDC, hello there. Welcome in. Glad you're here. So that's some stuff that came in. And then speaking of RoseCraft, this guy came in. And this is the new RoseCraft Barlow. Buzz, what's up? And this thing is just awesome. Like this is truly my favorite. A Barlow is truly my favorite kind of slip joint. And this one is amazing. You know, D2 steel. You've got that sheep's foot blade right there. You know. And again, you've got the bone, and that's hand jigged on there. So just feels great. I mean, it's a nice size, you know, and the walk and talk is amazing. Like let's. Yeah, it is definitely, Kathleen, 100% awesome on this one, you know. Now, with that said, that's not my favorite Barlow. This one is. And this is the one that Rough Rider put out earlier this year. And these sell for $10. You know. I believe it's a 440A steel on it, so it's not the greatest steel, but I just love the blade on that, the size, and for the price, you can't go wrong. This was probably my most carried slip joint knife this year. Obviously, the RoseCraft just came, so I don't have a true long-term experience with it. And then, of course, you guys know I love the other Barlow that I love so much is the Jack Wolf, the Gateway Barlow. This one probably would have been my most carried slip joint of the year if it was out all year, you know. But so speaking of favorite knives, on Tuesday there's going to be I'm going to drop 3 videos. Tuesday is going to be my top fixed blades of the year. Wednesday on the eve will be the top traditional knives of the year. And on New Year's Day, I'm going to drop my top folders of the year. So those 3 videos will be out this week. And then the week after, we'll go back into a regular rotation of reviewing new stuff. So there's that. So that came in another Whatnot giveaway. I got this little utility knife. You know, cheap little disposable utility knife. I don't even think you can really open this to change the blade. Oh, you could, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could change the blade on this. but just a little safety utility blade, you know. Wyvern Kodiak, hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. So I think that's everything that's new. No, that's not everything that's new. I'm lying. I'm lying. So this came in. The Ozark Trail Nimbus. This is one of the knives Jen got me for Christmas. Not a bad knife. I mean, these are going for $10. Aluminum handle, D2 steel, liner lock. I like the look of this. You know, it's a very simple looking design, but I like aluminum scales. Now, I will say these are a little slick. Like my hands want to slip on there, but you do have that cutout there for your finger, and the jimping's really good. So it does give you a good grip, you know. Deep carry clip that is reversible. And like I said, D2 steel, dual thumb studs, flipper, liner lock works really well. The thumb studs work well. Oh yeah, the Valor is definitely mine as well. The Valor may make it into my top folding knife video of the year. So, because there's going to be variations in there. Some high price stuff, some low price stuff. So, you know, but yeah, or it might be an honorable mention. I don't know. It might work its way in there. Oh, and then Flissa sent me a couple of knives to review. There's this guy, the Flissa 24, the FL 2450, 14C 28N blade steel, wood handles. I forget the wood on that, but they're really cool looking. Deep, semi-deep carry clip. It is not reversible. It's a liner lock. You've got your flipper tab, which is really nice. No jimping on the flipper though. And then you've got your I don't even know what, it's not quite like a Spidey hole. And in fact, it's really kind of tough to deploy it with that because of where the hole is on it. I don't know if you can see that. Where the hole is, but there is a groove in here. I probably just got to get my finger in there the right way. But I have not been able to, oh wait, there you go. I got it with the thumb. Got it with the thumb. So far, I got to tell you, Flissa, I think is the most improved of the budget companies this year. And the reason why I say budget and not inexpensive, because these knives, I mean, they don't have a knife that's over $30. But I think they are the most improved of all the, the affordable, inexpensive budget companies. You know, the Amazon brand ones. I mean, these blades have all been sharp. I've used them, you know. Like I said, Flissa sent me this one. And then Flissa sent me this one, which is their little guy. And this one is the model number. It doesn't have the model number on the blade. But it's a D2 steel, small little guy, but great access because of the way they put the finger choil there. Amazing jimping on top. And what's nice, for people who don't like a flipper, you've only got the thumb hole. So it gives it a really clean look. You know, they put that green around the pivot, which looks nice. You know. Very nice. Wyvern Kodiak. So Wyvern, maybe next Sunday night, if you want to jump on with me, we can kind of go over everything that's going on in the Wyvern Kodiak world. That would be cool. Have you ever had a knife? Oh yes. I think any of us who have played with knives long enough have had a knife slip out of your hand. Most of the time though, it's never a big knife with me. It's usually a small knife that I have trouble getting because I have big chunker of hands that I've had them slip out, you know. But yeah, I think we all have. Todd, I think that's very overblown because people have actually gone out and tested the flisses. That was a thing a few years back. I don't think that's currently happening. There's been too many brands that have been tested now, and you can look up. I mean, YouTube's got plenty of them. Whether it be Flissa, whether it be Sativian, whether it be Grow, where the Sativians we know a few years back, the D2 when they were claiming D2, it wasn't really D2, but that's since been researched heavily, and there are too many people with the ability to test knives now and test the actual steel, that if it were happening, it would be out there. How word travels about everything in this community. It would be out there, but it's not happening anymore. That's a thing of the past. Right, and the thing is, it got out there, Todd. And I shouldn't have said Grow because I do know Grow got caught. But the other companies have really cleaned up their act, and again, if they were getting caught, it would have been out there like Grow did, And same thing, a lot of these knives have been put through the hardness tests, and they are and they're coming up as advertised. So well, what happened with Grow a few years back, they were caught with their D2 wasn't really D2. And then they had new leadership take over who promised that they were going to fix that situation. And then in the fall, they got tested again. And again, they still weren't using D2. So shame on them. But other companies have, yeah, I've done the same thing, Dan. Dan said, I have not bought an Grow in years because of that. Now, the thing is, like you look at like Brian from 704 Gear, he has tested out the Grows and he's had good results. He pushes them on his channel, not pushes them, but he shares them on his channel all the time. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like a lot of these companies, whether it be Grow, Sativian, Ganzo, in the beginning, most of them were making, copies. They were making clones. They weren't making counterfeits because they weren't branding them as such. But we know, like Ganzo had two different versions of Spyderco's. See, Brand American, I think clones have a terrible stigma, And what I mean by that is, for instance, in the watch world, you can make a clone of a Rolex, but it's called an homage. And it's not a counterfeit because you're not putting a Rolex name on it. But let's face it, even the big brands, whether you pick up a Citizen, even Omega has copied other companies' designs, Matt, what are you saying? What does HX Outdoors do? What do they do as well? Yeah, see, in the watch world, we call them homages. You guys know I'm a big watch guy. Half the watches I own are homages, where in the knife world, for some reason, we look down upon it, where in the Elijah, there always was. But I'm not talking about a counterfeit. I'm not talking about like a counterfeit Rolex. I'm talking about like you can get something like from like Pagani Design or San Martin, Addy's Dive, that are quality watches, and you can tell they're inspired by, the Rolex or the Omega or the Bulova, whatever, Well, that's true. And here's the thing too. I think Ben Peterson had pointed it out and said it best. Okay. Matt, how is that a copy of the Mini Praxis? That looks nothing like a Mini Praxis. It's just so funny you happen to say that because I have it sitting on the table in front of me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the rock fluorite. This is the rock fluorite. This is not the rock sapphire. But the whole thing is the Mini Praxis is not an original design. You know? The Mini Praxis, let's face it, it's a D2 drop point blade. You know? It's got a very pedestrian handle. It looks like 1,000 other knives that are on the market. You know? Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. Exactly. Like I said, nobody's come out with a new blade shape in what, 50 years? You know, blade shapes have been around. But see, that's the difference, Wyvern. Those are counterfeits. That's where I think you need to distinguish. When they actually say Chris Reeves on them, or when they say Spyderco, or when they say Benchmade, those are counterfeits, you know? Oh, yeah, yeah. So this is the Azula sheet. It's nylon. It's not Kydex. And it comes with the clip. This clip is wide. So when you're pocket dropping it, it's going to be, wide in your pocket. It's not going to be like a, like a normal clip. It's way wider. But it holds the damn knife and sheath in place, and this thing locks in. Wyvern, you'd have to convince me that it doesn't look like anything else that's ever been made. That would take a lot of convincing, because I've not seen it. I don't mean I haven't seen anything new in ages. It's all variations on stuff that exists. What if you a lefty sheath for IWB? Yes, that's true, Thomas. There's always see, that's the thing too. Like Ben Peterson had explained that one time. When you don't know what to call something, like it's an in-between, just say modified. Wyvern, that's the one you had sent me a picture prior, correct? I know you sent me a picture of a few things. I can't get to them right now because I'm using my phone for the stream. I'll take a look at it, definitely, and I'm open-minded about it. Speaking of open-minded, something else that came in this week that was interesting, something that I ordered because I didn't know what the hell it was and I needed to see it for myself. Has anybody heard of the Atom series by Kershaw? The polycarbon knives that they do? Well, I picked up this one. This is the Kershaw Inverse. This is a polycarbonate blade with a steel overlay. And of course, I added a lanyard to it. This is really cool for opening envelopes. I like to fidget with it. I've been sitting on, since I got this early in the week, I've just been like kind of fidgeting with it because there's no sharp blade on it. You can kind of just play around with it, you know, do all kinds of finger manipulations. But what this is, they're not going to tell you what this is for. Well, that's the reason why they did that, ground fog, is because they don't want you to, they don't want to basically say that you could beat the system and a metal detector with this, because they put metal on it. So it takes the responsibility off of them. But with 2 screws, you can get the metal off of there. Throw this in your pocket and you're getting through any metal detector. Let's call it what it is, you know. But they put the metal on it. Takes the responsibility off of them. But this thing's kind of cool. I will say I've used it to open envelopes this week. It is sharp enough to go right through paper and open envelopes. You know, it's a small little thing. You can attach it. Like I have the lanyard on it, but you can put that on the neck, on a chain. Use a neck knife, you know. But kind of cool little thing. And these sell for like $12. You know, they're discontinued now, but you can still get them. They're out there. But I just like it because I like to fidget with it. I've been fidgeting with it for days, you know. Sometimes safer than me fidgeting with a knife. Not going to cut myself on this, you know. But, all right, people, we've got 52 people here in the chat and only 38 likes. Come on now. Come on now. Help me out here. Let's get some thumbs up over there. It really does help the channel out because, believe it or not, whenever you guys hit the thumbs up, it just spreads it out to the algorithm better. Weldon Carey, what's up, my friend? How are you? So, we are this close, by the way, to 3,000 subscribers. We're getting that close. Like I said, I didn't know if we were going to make it. And I said to you guys it would be a long shot, but we're this close. We are currently, I believe, 53 subs away from 3,000. And I would love to get there by the 1st. I didn't think it was ever possible. But if you guys could share the channel, tell your friends to subscribe, tell your wives, your husbands, just have them subscribe. Cat Scratch, welcome in, buddy. Glad you're here. But if we could just get me that over that hump, it would be really cool. And I've got some big giveaways planned for 3,000. I've got some stuff over there that, you know, is for 3,000. So we're going to have a big celebration once we get there. If we don't get there by the 1st, it'll be okay because we will get there at some point in January. But I'd really like to get there by the 1st. That would be a major accomplishment. So if you guys could just kind of spread the word, you know, it'd be awesome. But so Jen also got me, speaking of Christmas, got me another NAFS knife that's coming. Unfortunately, it didn't get here in time. You know, U.S. Postal Service. We know what they're like this time of year. They've been particularly bad this year. So we got something else coming, and you know, that'd be cool. So let's talk about what did everybody get for Christmas? Who got knives for Christmas? On the Edge EDC, hello there. Welcome in, channel member. Oh, also on what day was it? Wednesday when we did the live, I misspoke. I said tonight would be the monthly members giveaway. That's actually going to be next week. I figure I do that the first week of the month, not the last week of the month. So, and that's good because there's a knife that's coming, you know. Nice. Benchmade hat and t-shirt. That's awesome. Swag is always good. I like swag. You got a Grail. The Ferromonster Urban Grip. Very nice KR Knives review. And by the way, hello there. I didn't realize you were here. The Vosti Croc for Christmas. That's an interesting looking knife. I haven't had my hands on that one yet, but it kind of looks cool. Kaiser Veritas and a Vosti Porcupine from your daughter. That's awesome. Let's see. Who else got knives? Anybody? I know we're a knife community. You got a Husky? Oh, that's cool. Neil, how is that Husky? Like, Jen had thought about getting me one of those the other day, and I was like, I don't know about Husky as a knife brand. I mean, I know that they make decent tools because their tools are actually made by Snap-on. I know that from when I worked at Home Depot. Okay. You got a Leatherman Sidekick from your dad. Lakeside, I love the Leatherman Sidekick. It's one of my... The Solid Power Pint was my #1 carried multi-tool of the year, but the Leatherman Sidekick was my #2. And lately, I've been carrying this Byberry. And I really like this Byberry. Let's see what else. Who else got? It feels great in the hand. I've never held a Vosti. Yeah. Oh, Vosti makes some great stuff. D. Letterman, you've got a Microtech on the way. Nice. And by the way, D. Letterman, welcome in. I didn't realize you were here, and I apologize if I didn't say hello earlier, but I'm glad you're here. Let's see, what else do we got? Very cool. That's very cool. You know, DSKFS is a real thing in this community, and it means a lot, you know. Fook Doozle had done that for me on one of DVD's, you know, EDC DVD, one of his live streams. I got delayed in the chat, or my stream got delayed, and I was picked as winner. I didn't reply fast enough, so Fook Doozle won it and then gave it to me. So, which was really cool, you know. Community's really cool like that. You never know. You get a pocket Pro Series chef knife, very nice. And you know what, Roger? You'll probably use the chef's knife more than you ever would your pocket knife, especially if you do a lot of cooking. I don't know where Fook's been, to be honest. I know he popped in on Instagram and said he's doing okay. He was just taking a break. I don't know if there was anything wrong or not, you know, but Fook's a good dude. Geek Machinist got the Asher Little Buddy for Christmas, and he got himself the Chris Reeve Knives Anoya Fixie and an NKM Tango 2. Very nice. But I already knew that. But the chat didn't know it. Yeah, that's what I saw him say on Instagram. So, you know. Oh, nice. You got a Hulk Smash Kalashnikov for Christmas. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Weld, are you approaching 7,000 subs now? Right? You broke 6,000. I think you're going for 7, which would be awesome. Bought myself a knife for Christmas, but it was not a gift. Bought another Blaurock. Okay. And I have a fixie coming now. You know, there's nothing wrong with shopping for yourself for Christmas. I bought myself a bunch of stuff for Christmas. Only you know what you really want. Above? Huh? Let's see. Right, Weld, you're over 6,000 headed, or are you over 7,000 now? If you, right. You have grown so fast in a year, it blows my mind. I'm growing pretty quick, and you're blowing me away. Master Sergeant, welcome in, welcome in. Spider Power, right? Finish work with blade, hex pattern. Oh, wow. January 5th, 2026, Spyderco Paramilitary 3, 3.5 inch and CPM Rex 121 satin finish, Wharncliffe blade, hex pattern orange G10 scales, a cutlery shop exclusive. Wow, that sounds awesome. That really sounds awesome. I'm not going to be able to get it, but it sounds awesome. You bought yourself a 3D printer. Nice. An Vulcan Knives frame lock. Very nice. Santa got me a Santa Kubey knife. Very nice. That's actually my wife's favorite knife is the Santa Kubey that we have, that she loves to cut everything with, and it's ridiculously sharp. That's the first PM2 in Rex 121. That's awesome. Now, you know, coming up, we have new drops from Devo. Devo's dropping another knife soon. And Tempest Knives is dropping another knife. I don't know who all is here, but I know, like, we amongst the knife tubers, we have a private group, and sometimes we get to see things earlier and find out about some things. So it's really cool. J1 Doobie in the house, channel member. Oh, no, no longer channel member. I thought you were. I'm sorry. But, so, real quick, I know in Aries is going to have his big 4,000K celebration. Congratulations to Aries. He's worked hard at it. He puts out way more videos than I do. He does such a great job, though. You know, between his knives, his channel, he's just a downright good guy. So go for it, Thomas. You can do it. I mean, hell, I'm doing it. If I could do it, anybody could do it, you know. But got my Secret Santa from Brian F. A dope blue gifted a dope GITD ferro rods and an outside prep kit. Nice. Oh, okay. Speaking of pry bar, hold on one second. Hold on. I got something else that came in this week. I got this box. Titanium. Where is my box? All right. All right. So this week, I get home on Monday, and a box shows up, and I didn't order anything that should have shown up on Monday. And it is this box from the fine folks at Flytanium. And I'm like, why the hell did I get a box? I didn't order anything. So I opened the box, and in the box is a note. Really nice note that says, and I'll read it out. Happy holidays. Thanks for being a Flytanium affiliate. We appreciate you, and we're excited to continue working with you. Enjoy the goodies and have a happy new year. Look sharp and stay fly, the Flytanium team. On a nice little card. That's kind of cool. And inside the box, we've got like popcorn, and there were some chocolate truffles, which are gone. I ate them right away. And then they sent me one of these. a Toyo toolbox. So, what's a Toyo toolbox, you ask? It's this Japanese made in Japan toolbox that looks kind of like this. And when I opened it up, I'll show you what's inside. There's a Flytanium sticker, second Flytanium sticker, Flytanium, third Flytanium sticker. There is a Flytanium RE, and then this guy, which is, let's open this up and show you what we got. One Moon Collective, welcome in. So inside we have, inside this bag, we'll show you first things first. We've got another Flytanium. So prize winners, don't be surprised when you get Flytanium stickers. And then I got this really cool titanium pry bar. So I thought that was really nice of Flytanium, send that over. And these sell for about $60 on their website. So nice little prize pack from them. I appreciated that. Like I said, I didn't expect this to come in the mail, and it just showed up. So that was really nice of Flytanium, you know. And I do have a 10% off Flytanium link that you guys could use whenever you want. So it really does help the channel when you use links. It really what it does, honestly, because you don't make a lot of money off affiliate links. It just shows them that people are paying attention, and it makes them want to work with you more because they know, you know, that you're actually promoting their product or whatever, you know. So that was kind of nice. Like I said, took me totally by surprise. Because my wife was like, she goes, "What did you order now?" I'm like, "I didn't order anything." It's like, relax, just calm down. I didn't order anything, you know. So I appreciated that on Flytanium's part. That was really nice. You know, they're one of only two companies. Like, I have a bunch of affiliate links, and I'm affiliated with a couple companies. Only two companies actually reached that. Two companies. The other one that did was Wuben. And Wuben didn't send me anything, but they reached out in a nice email, you know, thanking me for our partnership and saying they look forward to working together again this upcoming year. So that was kind of cool, you know. But all right, we're an hour in. I think tonight I'm going to go. Well, let's see how it goes. I don't know how late we're going to go. But something that was brought up on that Lakeside 8 brought up on Aries stream was that he's going to have a giveaway for his latest milestone. And he was kind of asking, Lakeside was asking, you know, about giveaways. The reality is, you guys know I do a bunch of giveaways, and a lot of channels do giveaways. Some of the big channels, like a Metal Complex or a Bees or those kind of guys, even G-Ball, you know, those bigger channels, they're getting knives sent to them all the time. So the knives they're giving away have been given to them. But on a little channel like mine or Aries EDC, we're basically buying all the prizes we give away. You know, and I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm not. I don't mind giving away prizes. I don't mind, you know, I kind of budget for prizes. You know, that's why my prizes are like, every once in a while there's a big, you know, something bigger, but most of the time they're more pedestrian. You know, it's because it's what I could do. You know, but I do it because I appreciate everybody hanging out. It's kind of like my little thank you. But yeah, there's the prizes, and shipping prizes costs a lot. And again, I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. You know, so that's something like don't think that little channels like ours are just being given stuff to give away, you know? Yeah, Wyvern, absolutely. That was really nice. You know, like I said, they reached out. Wuben, like I said, reached out, and I'm trying to remember, there's a third company that's just slipping my mind at the moment that sent me a nice email, you know? Yeah, 100%. Like, oh, actually, Lakeside, hold on one second. I got to do something here. Whoops. Hold on. Dale Lane, welcome to the Adventurers Guild. New member there, Dale Lane. You get a lightsaber salute. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, good, Neil. I'm glad you like your giveaway. Appreciate that. So, Lakeside, I just made you a mod. So if you want to share your link in the chat so people could go subscribe to you, that would be awesome. In fact, I think I have to subscribe. No, I think I am subscribed. I'm sorry. But yeah, if everybody, check out Lakeside's channel. He's doing some good stuff over there, you know. But, and anybody else who has channel links, I know I say this every week, feel free to share your channel links. We all got to help each other grow. So, and I appreciate all the help I've been given this year. So if I could help anybody else, cool. Like I said, I'm a little channel still, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're working on it. Oh, Wyvern, you're going to be in it. You're going to be in Atlanta. I am trying to get there. That's my goal, is to get to Atlanta for a Blade show. Well, yes, that's true. Just remember, when you're a kid, they're toys. When you're an adult, they're hobbies. Good night, Blue. Appreciate you being here and everything you do for the community. Very cool. I appreciate it. All right, who's ready for a bad joke? I'm going to tell you a bad joke. What do Kiss action figures and artificial breasts have in common? Or let me rephrase that. Let me take that back. What do Kiss action figures and women's breasts have in common? They're both meant for kids, but it's adult men who play with them. Sorry, every once in a while you need a tasteless joke. But so how many of you folks go on Whatnot? I know there are some people here who go on Whatnot and bid up some stuff and purchase some stuff on there. I've been doing it. You don't make bad videos, Robert Jones. And yes, you do have some very cool knives. 100%. Hey, it's the Johnsons. Hello there. I believe you're here. I could have swore I just saw you. Oh, yes, there you are. Well, Gene Simmons tried to copyright everything. But yes. Have you noticed that there are some cool shops you can find on Whatnot, but there are just... Why did the ninja get fired? Why did the ninja get fired? Let's hear this one. Because nobody ever saw him at work. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. I'll share that one. I'm into dad jokes, so... But you don't make... Stop, you people. You don't make terrible videos. But yeah, that's basically how I found Whatnot, was not through the knife community. I found it through the pro wrestling community. So many pro wrestlers have Whatnot channels where they sell used gear and autographs and all that kind of stuff. Ring posters and all that. And that's how I found Whatnot. but it was because of Best Damn EDC. He had a offer that, which everybody gets. I mean, I have it now too. That if you signed up, you got a credit for $15, and I went on and bought a SOG knife for $15 using that credit. You know, and that kind of how I discovered. And I laid off or whatnot. I was like, whatnot could be a problem. And then I have a problem. I get addicted to winning. And it happened to me years ago when I went to the casinos. I won right away in the beginning, and I've loved whatchamacallit. I've loved casinos ever since. And what happened was I started winning a lot on whatnot. And now I just go back there and I wind up going in. And I'm not kidding. I counted today. I have 12 things arriving next week that were whatnot wins. 12 things that were whatnot wins. You know, I think I found a little secret. You never got that credit, huh? I don't know how. I don't know exactly how it works. Like I said, I got that credit. I used it. I don't know exactly like how it works or whatever. I know I have a link now, you know, but it is what it is. With that being said, this hat is driving me nuts, by the way. I can't seem to get comfortable with it. But like I said, I wound up going there, and I think I found the solution to winning things. And Robert Jones, actually, thank you, Robert. I want to publicly acknowledge you. So Robert Jones messages me the other day and says that Blade HQ is doing a Spyderco giveaway every 5 minutes. And I was like, well, hell, I could hang out there. I wasn't doing anything. I was watching TV, and I just kept it on in the background. And every 5 minutes when it went off, I just hit enter giveaway, enter giveaway. And I wound winning one of the Spydercos. So that'll be coming this week. I believe that was mailed out. Whatever day it was mailed out. It's supposed to be here next week. So I think it's supposed to be here Wednesday. But yeah, Robert Jones gave me the heads up. Like I said, I was hanging out there, just watching every 5 minutes, just clicking, But how I find, oh no, I'm absolutely hooked. No doubt. Like today, I was watching football. The whole day I was watching football. I was hanging out at home, being real lazy, just watching football. And on the arm of my couch, I had whatnot. And I was just going through the different ones. And, there's a giveaway. I just hit giveaway. And what I've noticed, how you can win these giveaways is one, when a stream first starts up. And what I mean is like within the first 10 minutes, they want to attract people to their stream. So they do usually a decent giveaway right off the bat. But you can usually get in when there's only like 10 people in there on that first giveaway, 10 to 20 people, which means your odds are pretty good, Yes. SC Knife Monkey, welcome in. And SC Knife Monkey has a whatnot where he sells some awesome stuff on there. A lot of traditional knives and whatnot, So you can follow him. I have actually bought a knife off of him on whatnot. But you can get on and you can jump in right away when there's very few people in there. And, and sometimes you don't know what you're going to win. Sometimes it's a mystery knife, sometimes it's cool stuff, or sometimes you get that. Sometimes it's not a knife at all. Sometimes it's just stickers, But it's just the fun of winning. Like I said, I counted today. I had 12 things that I won coming to me. A couple of them are knives. One is a watch. I won Invicta, and Invicta was one I would never thought I would win because Invicta generally, in the Invicta store, they have about 300 people at a time, But I just was for shit and giggles the other day hanging out in there, and I just hit enter giveaway, and next thing I know, I won. So they're sending the hard shell case, and inside is a mystery Pro Diver Invicta. I'm okay with that, But it becomes an addiction for me. That's why honestly, my life, I've never done drugs, is because I get addicted to things. Like, I'll give you a good example. Sometimes I get an addiction where, like, I get a taste for something and I have to keep doing it until I like lose it. Like, for instance, I went on a kick where I was eating jalapeno kettle potato chips for like 3 weeks straight every day because I just got a taste for it and I just wanted to keep having it, having it. So that's why I've never done drugs, because I can't. I know I'll get addicted. I have even shopping for knives is an addiction for me. Like, when I get out of work every day, like, I come home, if I'm not making videos, I'm usually, or not cooking, I'm usually searching through websites, looking at knives, combing the web, looking for deals. It becomes an addiction for me. And it's one of those things. And I'm a shopaholic. I always have been. That's like my drug, and that's why I'm pushing. That's why I'm putting a hard, fast rule this year. Excuse me, that I'm only buying one knife a month. Because it got out of control last year. But that's a whole story for another day. But yeah, Whatnot's kind of cool, and you can get some really cool stuff on there. Like dirt cheap too, especially some of the people who sell used knives. Yeah, SC Knife Monkey has a lot of cool knives that he's selling. So I'm sure he could send you, like he said, if you hit him up on Instagram, he's got some good stuff and he's got some good pricing. So, Knives Anonymous, Knives Are Us. William Hornbustle, hello there, my friend. But yeah, it's one of those things. I really need to stop with buying knives, which is quite hard when you're addicted to knives, and you do a YouTube channel based on knives. Knives Anonymous, yep. But either way, that's neither here nor there. Mallory Designs, hello there. So Mallory Designs has a new Kickstarter popping up. Should be later, but it's what's the date? January what, Dylan? Before I forget. Yes, Lakeside. 100%. But Dylan's got a new Kickstarter for his new knife coming out, and January 4th. Okay, yes, and I intend to do my best to be backer number one. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I will have my notifications turned on, and I'm going to try my damnedest to be backer number one. Like I said, I was backer number one on the last NAFS project, backer number one on the TCAL. So I'm going to try it. Hey, Casey's coming on. Casey's jumping on late. Really late for Casey. Casey. Casey's a good dude, by the way. And Dylan's doing Monday night live streams, by the way, that are really cool. So he goes on kind of at the end of Rob's Nerdy Knives, or they overlap a little bit, I believe. But Dylan's doing a cool job with that. See, Dylan, you just have to come here and I'll just promote you like crazy. Very nice, Dylan. Oh, do I have him over here? Oh, Dylan, I got to send you a picture. A few years ago, I had a Kiss-themed Christmas tree. And it had all these Kiss ornaments in it. I'll send you that picture on Instagram. All right, so real quick, I'm going to go over what I was carrying today. And then I want to hear what you guys are carrying. So I'll make it quick. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm just going to show you the knives I was carrying. So that way you guys could... All right. So first thing I was carrying today was a Milwaukee Fastback. Love these things. Just a great utility knife. And what's nice is inside, I don't know if you can be able to see it, but in here, it holds an extra blade, right? You've got plenty of tools on it. You got a bottle opener right there, you know, and then this one is the one with the driver. So kind of really cool. Standard 1/4-inch bit, you know. These come in really handy. But I like them. I was carrying that. I showed you I was carrying the Byberry already, multi-tool. Then as far as a fixed blade today, I'm carrying this one. And this is the REIT. I don't even know the model number on it. You can get, it's 14C 28N blade steel. Cool looking knife. Handles really well. I wish it had some jimping here because they got a nice place for your thumb, but it's a little slick because there's no jimping. But the blade shape's awesome. Feels really cool, you know, and sharp as anything. And these come in at usually around, I mean, these were like $29, but you often get them on sale for between $18 and $24. Periodically, they go on sale. I think right now they're on sale for like $18.99, but they generally live in about the $29 range. But if you can get them on sale like I did, really great knife. And Sheila from Wyoming Adventures has one of these, and she kind of, I asked her about it, and she said she liked it a lot, so I grabbed it, and yeah, I do like this. It's a nice size too, you know. I was carrying that, and then I was carrying the, which I showed you already, I was carrying the RoseCraft. And of course in my pocket I have my little Swiss Army knife. And then for poops and giggles, I was carrying this one, the HX Outdoors. This is the rock fluorite. And this one has a custom topo pattern that was lasered into it, as well as my secondary logo that was lasered into that by my friend Justin. So that's what I carried as far as knives. What are you guys carrying? Neil McKenzie with the Migron Curex, the mini pyrite, the power pint, right? The tiny SOG, and the Wuben E7. Oh, as far as flashlights, I got the Arc Pro. Love this thing. Let's see. The Lemon Man Trauma has the Matriarch 2 and the Griptilian. Griptilian's such a great knife. That was my first Benchmade. Actually, I don't have the Griptilian. I have the mini grip. I want a Griptilian, but I have the mini grip, and I love it. The Kaiser Little Buddy, great knife. That sits right here. I love this knife. It's one, to me, this is one of the better designs of the year. You know. What else? The True Warncliffe aluminum scales. The Toe Knife Squirrel fixed blade. Nice. The Olight IT3. And you didn't open the Leatherman yet. Well, open the Leatherman. Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about. Yes, it's the little key knife. Gotcha, Neil. So what else are we carrying? I know we have more knives and pockets than we have so far. Oh, you're gonna open on screen. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I will say one thing. Most of my unboxing videos are not really unboxing videos. I've already opened up stuff and looked at it and packed it all back up. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like you're gonna see unboxing videos for 704 coming up, but I've already been carrying the knife around or their knives around. You know, and the reason why I do that is because one, I want to be familiar with it when I talk about it, and if I don't like it, I don't want to put it on the channel. So, you know, that's one thing. So I usually carry the knives before you see them on the channel. And I pack them all back up, and then I usually tell you guys that it's not a true unboxing. You know, I usually do tell you that. I don't try to hide that, you know, but I try to give you the unboxing experience anyway. The true unboxing experience. The full DLC Signature Series Ultra Tech Tanto and your bailout black aluminum M4. Nice. Nice, nice. The cold Thomas Gates with the Cold Steel Recon 1 Tanto. The Kaiser Quartz. Nice. The Cold Steel Finn Wolf and your Byberry. Nice. The Finn Wolf is a really nice knife. I have one of those. I like Cold Steel a lot. They don't necessarily have the fidget factor because of the triad lock. It's not a quick unlock, but it's got the safety factor, you know? I'm telling you, Lakeside, just unbox them first. You know, and the other thing too is a lot of times, because when you unbox, right, then you got to cut open the plastic and you got to open up the little envelope inside, and I find that just to be tedious. So a lot of times I will throw the knife back in the box without the little plastic baggie, you know, just to speed up the process. Because truth of the matter is, yeah, everyone wants to see what's in the box, but they don't care about you actually opening the box, you know? You just want a Finn Wolf. Finn Wolf's, it's a fun knife. I like I said, I like it a lot. Feels really good in the hand. The blade's really nice. You know, if it was a better steel, it would even be better. But even cold steel, when they have a lower end steel, it's usually done well. Cold steel knows what they're doing. You know, Roger Baker had the QSP Penguin Glide Lock. I love that knife. I really have to get one. Yeah, I had the one on the channel, but I sent that off. That was actually for a giveaway. The Ozark Trail Custom by Jimmy Crow. Yep, that's awesome. The Mora and the Workos T28 flashlight. Very nice. Yeah, because here's the thing, like I don't do any long-term reviews because truthfully, as you guys who've been fans of the channel know, I pretty much change my knives out every day. So when you see something in a video, I've actually carried it for a couple of days or so, maybe even a week before, you know, just so I could test it. But the unwrapping part is tedious, and I've screwed up so many videos where I just decided now, nope, stuff's coming out of the plastic bags. We're cutting the shrink wrap off before we even start. You know, I actually, Thomas, I cut myself really bad making a short video, and so bad that I left a trail of blood. I was filming at my job, and the knife I had was so sharp, I didn't even realize it cut me. I didn't feel it. And all of a sudden, I was filming the video and I could see it, but the camera angle couldn't, that there was blood just gushing out of my hand. So I wrapped up the video as quickly as possible. You know, I was filming a short, and I ran and I had to bandage myself up, clean up the blood. I left a trail of blood in my office. It was just horrible. So carry. Okay. The Granger was so right. I really fidgety. Gotcha. You didn't carry your small Sebenza enough. Man, I don't know. I just don't know about the Sebenza. I know Chris Reeve knives are supposedly awesome, but that $600 price point on those really makes me shake my head. Not that it's not worth it, but do I want to spend that much? You know? Lux Spinner, hello there and welcome in. Oh, well, glad to have you here. We usually do 2 hours on a Sunday night starting at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We cover EDC gear. We cover knives of all sizes and proportions and brands. And, we talk about them. We hang out. We talk EDC gear. We talk food. We talk a lot of music. You've owned 2 Sebenzas and you sold them within a week. Yeah, I hear that, Mallory. I hear they're not for everybody. I get it. They're not like a Mallory design knife. You know what I mean? So, for those who don't know, who maybe are new to the community, Dylan Mallory, Mallory Designs, has designed some great knives over the years. I currently have 4 of his designs, and I absolutely love them. So I bought the first one. The first one I bought was the Centros, I believe. And then after that, I was like, well, I got to start getting more. Then the Hadros came. Then the small Centros. Is it Centos or Centros? Centos, right? And then, it just keeps going. Vuma's on. What I don't understand, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I've never had a whatchamacallit, a Sebenza. I've never even had one in my hand. But why do they only put a thumb stud on one side? Like, that seems like a very old-fashioned thing to do. And I know Rob from Rob's Very Knives said that they actually, he sent his to them. I guess he talked to them at Blade Show, and they were putting a second, a dual-sided thumb stud on it. They do have double lug versions. Okay. Jojo EDC, hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. We're making a push to get to 3,000. And it would be great if we could get there by next week. We're only like 50-something away at this point. So you can get them with 2 lugs. Okay. Nice. I appreciate that, Jojo EDC. That's awesome. Thank you for that. All right. So we're at 11:37. Or 11:27, sorry. I should just look down at my wrist instead of trying to read the little time on the corner of my screen. Yeah, you know what, Wyvern, I will do that. Absolutely. And I will include a QR code too for people to scan. Although I find it really funny because I put a QR code, right? And then people are actually using their phone looking at it, and then they have no way to scan it because it's on their phone. Blah, blah, blah. It all works. Oh, what's he got going on tomorrow? Is he doing? Is he? I know he usually goes live. Is he not going live tomorrow, or? James McCann with the spy report. Spy report. Spy report. Breaking news. Breaking news. Knives Fast gave us an update on what's going on tomorrow. There it is. The H2O pre-launch on Kickstarter. Sign up there to be the first to know, hopefully the second and third to know about Mallory's drop. He wants everybody to talk about best knives of 25. Okay. Boy, is that subjective. That is really subjective because I've been watching a lot of these best knives videos, and some of them I can't say I don't agree with, because here's the thing. In my videos that are coming out, like I said, I'm doing the best of fixed blades, the best of traditional knives, and the best of folders. But there might be knives that don't appear on my list because I haven't actually had them. That's the one thing. All the knives that I'm going to be reviewing or listing in my top 5, or however many I do, I think it's going to be a top 5 with an honorable mention on each. It's only going to be knives I've actually handled, because I don't think it's fair to throw a knife that, yeah, it looks great. Everybody says it's great, but I haven't tested it. So it's just going to be based on my thinking. But also, too, I've noticed something. I disagree with some of the other YouTubers on certain things. But I realize it's not because they're wrong or I'm right. I might be wrong. They could be right. It's just a matter of we use our knives differently. You know, one of the big ones, and this is not against Stasa. I love Stasa. I think he actually does some of the most thorough testing out there. Is he was killing a lot of knives in his fixed blade video because they didn't have taco sheaths and they were pancake sheaths. Well, for me, since I use my knives more as outdoor knives, as far as fixed blades go, and not so much pocket droppers, taco sheaths aren't always the best for me. Like, for instance, on this knife, this is a big knife. One, like right now I have it set up for scout position. It's going to go on my belt. This is too big for me to ever use as a pocket dropper. And not because of the sheath, it's just a big knife. If I'm going to use a pocket dropper, it's going to be more like the Essie, the Zulu, you know? No, because Stasa uses his knives. He puts every knife through thorough tests, you know? But if I'm pocket dropping, and there are knives I pocket drop, let me grab a couple here, you know? Let's see. Do I have them here, or are they in the other case? Oh, here you go. All right, perfect example. Perfect example. The Kubey Bloom, or my good friend Aries EDC, the Kubey Bloom. This is a perfect size for pocket dropping. And yes, this has a taco sheath that I have an ulti clip on. I'll pocket drop this because to me, this is just more of an EDC knife, where something like this is more of an outdoor knife. Outdoor knives, I'm either going to scout carry, or I'm going to put them on my straps on my backpacks, you know. And a taco sheath isn't necessarily the best for that. You know, a good, for instance, this guy here. This is the RoseCraft. This is the F4. This is a big knife. I'm never going to pocket drop this. So a taco sheath on this wouldn't work for me. It needs this. Now, right now, I haven't actually put the clip. I left the original clip on it. I haven't actually lashed this up to where it's going. But this will probably go with lashing on. It'll probably wind up going right there on that backpack when all's said and done. You know? So we all use our knives differently. So Stas is not wrong. You know, he prefers a taco style sheath. And on a small knife like this, 100%. But on a larger knife, there's no way this would work with a taco sheath, you know? So we use our knives differently. So we're gonna have different thoughts on them. And I don't think anybody's wrong or right. It's a matter of, it's just your preference. Like one of my knives that I love this year, Metal Complex dismissed it. And I don't mean he said anything bad about it. He literally opened it up out of the box and said, "Oh, this knife isn't anything special." He goes, "We'll come back to that." And he pushed it off to the side and then went into another knife because he got a few knives from Civivi. And he just looked at it and said, "Well, it's a very ordinary knife." And the reality is it wasn't. At first glance, it was if you just looked at it. But there were some very special design cues in it that weren't necessarily obvious. So we all look at knives differently. You know, some people love aluminum handles, some people love titanium, some people like micarta, some people like G10. You know, everybody's different. There's no one right knife or right way. You know, everybody does it their way, likes what, prefers what they like. We talked about this before. There are some reviewers out there who are exactly that. They're reviewers, but they're not users. So they understand what makes, in theory, a good design, but they don't actually get out there and ever field test it. Yeah, Lux spinner, exactly. And like, like a couple of channels who really go out and do hard testing. Stasa does. He puts the work in, man. You've seen his videos. He tests every knife. Another one, Gideon's Tactical. Aaron from Gideon's Tactical. When he gives a review, I listen because he puts his knives through the test. Yeah, definitely Wyvern. And I always, I forget the channel. They don't make videos anymore. They stopped about a year ago. But they were putting every knife in the world that they could afford under these ridiculous, extreme, hard use tests. And like some of the Spyros just failed miserably. Some of the big brands just failed miserably. And one of the ones that survived every test was this stupid $25 Sativian. So again, when they go back to saying that, the D2 may not be D2, well, they tested knife and it went through, they batoned with it. They cut leather with it. They cut nails with it. They put this through every type of test you shouldn't use an EDC knife for. They hard used it. And this one actually survived, which is the only reason why I own it, because their test was so good on it. And this actually turns out to be a really good knife. Is that real D2? I have no idea. I have no way of testing it. I could send it out to weigh the knife and have them test it, but, Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the guys I'm talking about. One was a heavy set guy, and the other guy was a skinnier guy. And I mean, I think altogether there were like 25 different. Was it 25? Like 16, something like that. Like 16 different tests. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. You know. No, I know. No, these are guys. They literally shot this thing in their basement, and their logo. It's something tactical, and their logo was an ant. It was like an ant head, you know. And I just for the life of me, I cannot remember the name, you know. But they would start out with simple tests, cutting paracord, so cutting paper. Then they would move up, and they would actually take a block of wood, and they would take chunks out of it. And then they would baton, and then they would go through like cutting leather, cutting this, cutting that, cutting this, putting it through like ridiculously tests that you shouldn't put them through. And then they would do spine wax and the whole thing. Exactly. Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me. They were two Jersey guys. They shot in the basement, you know, and they put these things through like ridiculous tests and so many knives. And then you're amazed at some of like the cheap knives that just survived and did well. It's like, whoa, kind of unexpected. But I really wish I can remember their names. I'll have to look them up. You know what? I know I've talked about them before. And I keep saying it. I will look them up and let everybody know next week what channel they are. You know, but those guys were just fantastic. And they even admit it. They're like they saw like knives that failed miserably. You know, like we know we're putting these through tests we're doing stuff that you just shouldn't do with EDC knives. But at the same time, like I think they were really disappointed. They had a Benchmade that failed, and they were really disappointed. They had like a Spyderco that failed. All right, cool. Like, so I appreciate that. If you want to look them up, greatly appreciated. So, 11:39. I'm going to do something tonight. Hard to say what. I don't know. I'm going to do a little giveaway tonight. I wasn't planning to do it, but I'm going to do one because I got a few knives here that are in the package. They're nothing great, but we might as well do it. So we're going to play a numbers game in a little bit. We'll wait till like 11:45 or so. We're going to play the numbers game. And we're gonna put some knives up, and the winner's gonna get to choose which knife they want. They're not great knives, just to be honest with you. They're inexpensive knives, but still want to do a giveaway tonight. It's been a fun night hanging out with everybody. I was not into going on live tonight. Sometimes I get that way, and then once I got here with you guys and having a lot of fun, Real quick, does anybody have any plans? Anybody going out to celebrate New Year's Eve? I think this year we're gonna stay close to home. A lot of times we go out, whether it be to one of the casinos or, we've gone down to Gettysburg. If anybody's never been to Gettysburg, PA for New Year's Eve, it's amazing. In the center of town, there's a big circle, and they have all these vendors around, and they've got stages set up with bands playing all night, and then they do a ball drop. Heck no. I still enjoy getting out there, but they have a ball drop. It's kind of like being in Times Square, but on a much smaller scale. Yep, you're going to Chicago. Awesome. There's already been a threat to our beaches. See, I think it all depends. Like no one's attacking the middle of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, unless you're the South in 1863. But I wouldn't go to Times Square at this point. I just wouldn't. One, because it's not like it used to be when I was younger. Like you get corralled. You can't even move to go pee if you have to. Like Times Square is just insane. Like the way it's done nowadays. In my youth, it was much different. Gotcha. I like Chicago as a city. It's a fun city to visit, but it could be dangerous depending on where you are in Chicago. I experienced that firsthand years ago, but I like Chicago. It's a fun city. I like it more than Philadelphia, even though I like Philadelphia. Out of all the big cities, obviously I grew up in New York, so I'm jaded. I love New York City, but I really like Chicago. I like Boston. I like Philly. Love Nashville. Nashville's a great city. Obviously, Miami, Tampa, Orlando. I've been to all of those cities. They're awesome, you know. But all these cities are fun in their own way, you know. Joys of living. Next one. Gotcha. 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 It's 11:43. So I'm going to pull out the good old book. Okay. I'm going to write a number in the book, and then I'm going to write a range. All right. Yeah, James. Times Square is like it's acquired taste. I will say that. It's a very acquired taste. You know, having grown up there, there's so much more to do in the city on New Year's Eve than just Times Square. But you do have to experience it once, I think. Same thing like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which to me is one of the most fun things you can do. You know. All right. New Age Tactical. That is it. New Age Tactical. 100%. Those guys do a great job of testing. Yep. Appreciate that. Lakeside, appreciate that. Those guys did such a great job, you know, but very cool. I'm going to remember that now. All right, who's ready for the numbers game? Anybody ready for the numbers game? So here are the rules. One guess only. All right, one guess only. Winner is the closest without going over. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to live in the continental United States. If I can have Rob Tenring, hello there. Welcome in. Did not see you here, but I'm glad you are here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you did. All right, folks. So we're going to start the numbers game. We're going to have a knife giveaway, and I'm going to hold up 3 knives after we figure out who the winner is, and they get to choose. So if one of the mods could give me a starting point, it'd be greatly appreciated. We just need a start sign. SC Knife Monkey with the start sign. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So the number range, and mind you, this is going to be backwards. The number range is 400 to 600. 400 to 600. So let's get some starts up there. Again, 400 to 600. Do, 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 do. Oh. Boom, boom. All right, let's keep the guesses coming in. Just going to scroll back, take a look. I got some here. Got some good guesses. We got some good guesses. Definitely some good guesses. Definitely some good guesses in there. All right, we'll give this like another minute or so. Make sure, if you haven't guessed, make sure you get your guess in. Greatly appreciate that. Oh, Old Man on the Ridge. That's a sweet car. Dodge 440 Magnum. Nice. Jim Cox, hello there. I don't think I said hello to you earlier. All right. Roger Baker, you're too low. And we have a stop on there. SC Knife Monkey with the stop sign. All right. So the winning number is 463. 463. And I think D. Letterman is the closest with 460. Nobody hit it on the head, but 460 is the closest I've seen. It looks like D. Letterman, you are the winner. Yep, D. Letterman, you are the winner. So let me show you what you have a choice of. Now, mind you, this is a small giveaway. This was an unplanned one, but so we've got 3 knives for you to choose from. We have an Ozark Trail Glacier in that olive green. We've got the Ozark Trail Cumulus with the aluminum handle and the black blade, frame lock. And then we have the Eagle Rock fixed blade. So Dwayne, what's your choice? Again, I'll hold these up. You let me know which one you'd like. Dwayne, are you with us? Are you with us, Dwayne? Just let me know which one you want. You want this one, the Cumulus. Excellent. So this will be coming to you. So Dwayne, you can either email me at adventure50. I'm sorry. It's adv50@gmail.com, or you can just hit me up on Instagram, and I will get that out. Obviously, it's the holiday this week, but things will be going out next Saturday. So next Saturday they'll get in the mail, and I'll give you, just get me your information. I'll get this and the other prize for Wyvern. Wyvern, I actually need your uh, mailing address too for your prize from last week. So excellent. And I'll get those out on Saturday. Very cool, guys. I appreciate it. Anybody got anything last minute before we sign off? We've got like 7 minutes left of the show. So we've got 7 minutes left. Oh, no worries. And Wyvern, like I said, if you want to come on next Sunday, let me know. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on Instagram. But I like turtles. I saw that. That kid's like grown up now. That video is so old. Oh, you too, Lakeside. Absolutely. You know, I'm hoping everybody's safe this, holiday. Be careful. There's a lot of amateurs out there. It's sometimes, you know, sometimes New Year's Eve can become amateur hour. All right, excellent. Very cool. That's awesome. And like I said, Lakeside, thanks for finding out the channel. Yeah, New Age Tactical. Those guys, I really like their stuff. I mean, some people may say what they did was excessive to the knives and that most knives aren't going to survive it, but you'll be surprised if we did. Oh, you're welcome, Josh. I appreciate you being here. Brown Sugar, I appreciate you being here as well. And everybody else. You guys make Sunday nights a lot of fun. My whole life, this is the way it's been. I always dreaded Sunday nights when I was a kid because it meant school the next day. And when I was younger, not so much in high school or college, but when I was younger, I hated grammar school and I dreaded going to school. And then, like, I still get that feeling nowadays on Sunday nights because I have to go back to work tomorrow. And I love my job. It's just, never got over that feeling from when I was a kid of the anxiety of Sunday nights. And believe it or not, this really helps with that. I get to hang out with all you guys and it takes every thought away, But, and I just love hanging out with you guys in the community. It's so much fun. We have such a great community here, But, all right, it's 11:56. Oh, real quick. I was thinking about something before everybody runs away. I got an idea I wanted to float out there. Since I'm not going to be buying a ton of knives, and since I have a ton of knives, I was thinking about doing like a trade kind of program. So if somebody out there had a knife that they really didn't like or just didn't want anymore, and they wanted to trade it, that they could contact me, tell me what they're sending me, and then I could send them a knife of equal or greater value back as a trade. Making sure it's something they don't have. That way, you guys can get a knife that maybe you like, and I get a knife that maybe I don't have for the channel. I don't know. Is that something that sounds like it would be cool? Let me know. Yeah, SC Knife Monkey. We could do that. Like I said, I've got knives that that maybe somebody would want that I'm not using or whatever, and maybe a knife that somebody has that they don't want, they could send to me. And like I said, I would give them a knife of equal value or even more, depending on what I have and sort of thing. And what that does, it keeps other than the cost of shipping, but that kind of goes both ways on that. Yeah, SC Knife Monkey, 100% I will. All right, cool. We'll work on that. We'll get that figured out. I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. I was running by this like that could be good because one, it'll keep everybody's costs down. You know, But all right. So on that note, I am going to sign off now. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. You just don't know how great it is to be part of this community and have all of you here. Everybody, seriously, have a great, great holiday and be safe. Don't do anything. I wouldn't, wait, that's not good because I pretty much would do anything. Um, but everybody have a great night. And like I said, just be safe. And we'll come together. Like I said, New Year's Eve, we'll probably do a show again. Because the Christmas Eve show went really well. So maybe we'll do one on New Year's Eve as well. I'll let everybody know. All right, folks. As I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp. Good night, everybody.